I welcome you all for the new class where we are going to discuss about infinite series. So this is the first class we are going to discuss about infinite series. So before looking into what do you mean by a series, first we need to know what is a sequence is. So we have studied already functions. So functions means it is a relation that is defined between two sets. Yes. So one set on which the function is defined. So here this function carries elements from here to here, right? So elements are taking from this set which is called as domain of f. Elements are mapping to this set which is called codomain of f. Okay, this is about functions we have studied. So many things we have studied about functions, then their properties like limit of a function, continuity, differentiability, analytic functions in complex, etc. So here if we restrict the domain of a function to set of natural numbers, then such function is called a sequence. So if you look into the definition, a sequence is a function defined on n. So n here stands for set of natural numbers. So generally we write a sequence in this form. So usually bracket ಒಳಗಡೆ ಬರಿತೀವಿ f from n to a may be any set, that may be any set, codomain may be anything, but the domain must be set of natural numbers. So any function that is defined on set of natural numbers is called a sequence. So it may be any function, the domain is n means it's a sequence. It's a sequence. Now a sequence is represented in different ways. See here we have written an example n. This is a set of natural numbers which is the domain of f, and the set a, that is the codomain of f. Here f is mapping 1 to a1, 2 to a2, 3 to a3, 4 to a4, etc. See here a1 is the image of 1 under f, so it is equivalent to write f of 1. a2 is the image of 2 under f, so equivalently we can write this as f of 2. Equivalently you can write this as f of 3, f of 4, etc. So generally we will be having an is the image of n under f. An is the image of n under f. So the general notation for sequence is this one. We'll write within flower brackets a1, a2, a3 and so on an. So a1, I mean within flower bracket, first you need to write the image of 1, next image of 2, image of 3 and so on, image of n. This will be a finite set or infinite set, that we cannot decide. That actually decided by looking into the definition of f. It may be a finite set or may be infinite set. If it's a finite set, then we'll write the last entry as an. If it is an infinite set, we are not able to write the last entry, so it will be ending with 3 dots. So in a simpler form we can write the sequence like this, within flower bracket a k ranging from 1 to n. Similarly equivalent notation we have f of 1, f of 2 and so on, f of n, which can be written as f of k, where k runs from 1 to n. In a most simpler form we write the notation as simply an. This usually used for an infinite sequence. So ಈ ತರ ಬರೀತಾರೆ, but some authors prefer to write an. So that is depending on authors. Either you can write an within bracket, I mean a flower bracket, or you may write within usual bracket. So this is about the sequence. If you look into some examples, so first I'll consider the sequence f of n equal to n cube, f of n equal to n cube. Then f of 1 will be 8, f of 1 will be 8, sorry, f of 1 will be 1, f of 2 will be 8, f of 3 will be 27, and f of 4 64, and etc. Here it is an infinite sequence, because here f of n equal to n cube, and we have not restricted n between any two particular values. So obviously the lower bound is n equal to 1, and upper bound, since we have not restricted here, this may go up to infinity. So the corresponding sequence is, for this, within flower bracket, 1 comma 2 comma 1 comma 8 comma 27 comma 64 comma and so on. Or in an equivalent form you can also write like this: 1 comma 2 cube comma 3 cube comma 4 cube and so on. These are all equivalent notations. You can write in any way. So that is about first sequence. It is a sequence of cubes, right? So next we have second example. Here f of n is defined to be 2n plus 1. F of n is defined to be 2n plus 1. So we need to write the sequence, corresponding sequence. So as usual, n varies from 1 to up to infinity. Again, we have not restricted here. So when n equal to 1, it will be 3. When n equal to 2, it will be 5. 3, 5, 7, 9, 11 and so on. So this denotes non-unit odd numbers. So this is the second example of a sequence. Third example, f of n equal to 1 by n square. So here the corresponding sequence will be 1 by 1 square, that is 1, 1 by 2 square, 1 by 3 square, 1 by 4 square, 1 by 5 square and so on infinite. So all these sequence we listed here are all infinite sequences. So this is reciprocal squares series, sequence. So, or you can also say that sequence of reciprocal squares. So these are all some simple examples about the infinite sequences or simply sequences. Next we will define series. So what is a series? So given any sequence, let A and B any sequence. Let A and B any sequence. See, series is always a parameter that is associated with a sequence. Let A and B any sequence. A series is a sum of first n terms of given sequence. So this is about the definition of a series. See, if you look into examples, I think then you can understand it better. Example, let f of n equal to 2n. This is the given sequence. Let f of n equal to 2n. It is a sequence of even numbers. So it the corresponding sequence is 2, 4, 6, 8 and so on. Now the corresponding series is, the associated series is first term we will write as it is. Usually the first term will be same, that is same as corresponding sequence. So second term, first term plus second term. Next, first term plus second term plus third term. First plus second plus third plus fourth. So this is the series of sums actually associated with the given sequence. So let us take one more example. Let f of n equal to, I'll take a trivial series. I'll take a trivial series here, I mean sequence here. So an equal to 1 for all n. Then the corresponding sequence is 1, 1, 1 and so on. That is the sequence corresponding to this one. But associated series is, the associated series is 1, 1 plus 1, 2, okay, I'll write in this format only, 1 plus 1, 1 plus 1 plus 1, 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1, 1 plus 1 plus 1 4 times and so on. So this is the series associated with the sequence f of n equal to 1 for all n. So this is about the introduction to sequence and series. So any function whose domain is a set of natural numbers is called a sequence. So if you take a sum of entries of a sequence, then we'll be getting a series. Now infinite series. Infinite series. Infinite series. An infinite series is a sum of infinitely many terms of a sequence. Infinitely many terms of a sequence. So it is denoted by summation n ranging from 1 to infinity, or in a general form we will write summation an only. See, if you have a finite series, then you can denote it by writing summation k ranging from 1 to n. So in case of infinite series, you have to write an ranging from 1 to infinity, or you can just write this one. So this stands for an infinite series. So next, some key points about infinite series. Note number 1, if an equal to 0 for all n, then it is called series of positive terms. It is called positive terms. If all the terms of this sequence are positive, then it is called sequence, a series of positive terms. That plays a very important role that we will discuss later. So second important point, for an infinite series, I'll just write I dot s. For an infinite series, the sum of first n terms, this actually helps to determine the nature of the given infinite series, that we will discuss later. So the sum of first n terms is called nth partial sum of the given series, summation an, and it is denoted by Sn, So you can look into these examples. So this is actually the first term, so it will be S1. It will be 1 plus 1, sum of first 2 terms, sum of first 3 terms, sum of first 4 terms. So similarly you have same thing here. It will be a first term, sum of first 2 terms, sum of first 3 terms, sum of first 4 terms. So you can observe that S1 will be same as the first term A1. S1 first partial sum, that will be same as A1. So generally S1 will be equal to A1 and S2 will be equal to A1 plus A2 and S3 will be A1 plus A2 plus A3 and this continues till Sn equal to A1 plus A2 plus A3 plus and so on An. So this is called nth partial sum and this will be third partial sum. So S2 will be second partial sum. Next, this is the most important one. Actually the key factor of this unit is this one. Nature of a series. Nature of a series. Nature of a series. Let summation an be any infinite series. Be any infinite series. We say that summation an number 1 converges. We say that summation an converges if the sum an ranging from 1 to infinity is a finite number. If sum of that infinite terms is a finite number, then we say that it is a convergent series or the given series converges. And the second important point, we say that series diverges if summation an ranging from 1 to infinity is equal to plus or minus infinity. So that sum we cannot always say that it will be plus infinity. If each term that we are going to add is negative, then definitely that will be the sum will be a negative number. So given any infinite series summation an, we will be having two possibilities. One is if the sum of all that infinite terms is less than infinity or it is a finite number, then we say that series is convergent or summation an converges. If that sum is equal to plus or minus infinity, then we say that it diverges. But there is one more possibility, that is the value of an is going to vary between 2 or more values. I mean value of the series is going to vary between 2 or more values. That is third possibility. It oscillates if summation an takes 2 or more values. It may take more than 2 values, that we cannot restrict, but if it takes at least 2 values, then we say that the series is oscillatory or the series oscillates. Say if you look into summation an, we got two possibilities mainly. Either it takes single value or it takes multi-value. If it takes multi-values, then the conclusion is it is oscillatory. If it takes multi-values, then the conclusion is it is oscillatory. If we take single values, then again two possibilities. Either that single value is a finite number or infinite. It will be either equal to infinity. Infinity means plus or minus infinity. I don't specify in every time. Infinity means it is plus or minus infinity. So it takes single value means either it will be equal to plus infinity or it will be equal to less than infinity. So if it is less than infinity, then it is convergent. If the sum is equal to plus or minus infinity, then it is divergent. So we got three cases. If the summation of this sum of that series is a finite number, then it is convergent. If it is an infinite number, it is divergent. If it oscillates between two or more values, then the series is oscillatory. So mathematically, to check this, see, we cannot add all that infinitely many terms. Hoda? So infinite terms ide. So ashtu infinite terms add ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. So for that we will take the help of the nth partial sum. That is the condition. This series summation an converges if summation an is less than infinity, or this condition is equivalently used as limit of Sn as n tends to infinity is equal to L, which is a finite number. So as I said, we cannot add all those infinitely many terms to check whether that sum is a finite number or not, but for that we can use this condition. We can take the nth partial sum of that series, then take limit as n tends to infinity. If it is plus or minus infinity, then the series is divergent. If it is a finite number, then that series will be convergent. So whatever this finite value we get, that will be the actual sum of that infinite terms. That will be the sum of that infinite summation or infinite series. So understand this carefully. Given any series summation an ranging 1 to infinity, so the one way of determining convergence or divergence is considering the nth partial sum of that series. Okay, now look into this nth partial sum and take limit as n tends to infinity. Then either it will be a finite number or it will be an infinite, as in this case. Either this will be limit Sn as n tends to infinity will be a finite number or it is an infinite number. If it is an infinite number, then the series is divergent. If it is a finite number, then the series is convergent. So when we get this convergent series, then this finite number, value, that will be the actual sum of that infinite terms. That will be the actual sum. So that L will be equal to summation an ranging from 1 to infinity. So this is about convergent or divergence of series. Next we shall look into some examples. So first example I am going to consider is let an equal to 1 for all n. Let an equal to 1 for all n. Now let us see whether this series is convergent or not. If an equal to 1 for all n, let an equal to 1 for all n ಅನ್ನೋದಕ್ಕೆ symbol ಇದು for all. This stands for all n. Then the summation an ranging from 1 to infinity will be 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 and so on. This sum should be taken till infinitely many terms. So obviously if you consider, if you add 1 infinitely many times, that sum will be infinite only. Similarly, if you take an equal to minus 1, then it will be minus infinity. So anyway, the sum of this series is an infinite number, So it is divergent. So it is divergent. So the series is divergent. Next, second example. Summation 1 by 2 whole power n. We have already studied this geometric series, I think. Again, we will discuss the same thing in this video only. The sum of, geometric series 1 plus x square, it is equal to 1 minus x. Actually, this will be 1 by 1 minus x when x is infinite. X is less than 1 or mod x is less than 1. So in that case, we will be having this sum. So right now I will recall this. In this video itself, I am going to discuss the convergence of this series. Now if you take summation 1 by 2 whole power n, so obviously here an is 1 by 2 whole power n, and summation an will be 1 plus 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2 square plus and so on. It is same as this series with x equal to 1 by 2. So it will be 1 divided by 1 minus 1 by 2. So that will be 2 minus 1 in the numerator, then 2 goes to the in the denominator, right? So the value of this will be 2. 2 by 1 bartala, so it is 2. So this series is convergent because the sum of this infinitely many terms I am getting as a finite number. So that series is convergent. Now let us take one more. Series 3. Series 3 will be having summation minus 1 power n. Summation minus 1 power n. Now if you look into the terms of this series, a1 will be minus 1 power 1. Okay, I will write the general term. an, that is minus 1 power n. See, this an is called the general term. Is called the general term. So here the general term is minus 1 power n. Now a1 will be minus 1, a2 will be minus, it is not a minus 1 power 2, it will be actually, okay, yes, minus 1 power 2, 1. a3 will be minus 1 again, a4 will be plus 1 again. If you take this sum Sn, that will be actually a1 plus a2 plus and so on an. So it will be actually either okay, first term minus 1, next minus 1 plus 1, 0. So it takes two values, minus 1 or 0, depending on n. So if n odd, it will be minus 1, if n even, it will be 0. So we got a finite number, limit as n tends to infinity, you will be getting this one. So the conclusion is here summation an oscillates between two values. This oscillates between 0 and minus 1. So it oscillates between two values. So the series is oscillatory. So we got three examples here. First example, an equal to 1, the corresponding series is divergent. Next, 1 by 2 whole power n, corresponding series convergent. Minus 1 power n, corresponding series is oscillatory. So this is about the nature of this series. Next, some important notes. Note number 1. Suppose series an converges. Suppose summation an converges, then limit an as n tends to infinity will be 0. limit an as n tends to infinity is 0, but converse need not be true. But converse need not be true. What is the meaning of this? Let us understand this carefully. Need not be true. See, given a series summation an converges implies limit an as n tends to infinity will be 0. Limit of an as n tends to infinity will be 0. But limit an as n tends to infinity is 0 need not imply that series convergent. So converse is not true, or mean opposite way is not true. Even limit an as n tends to infinity equal to 0, the series may be divergent. So the series converges implies the general term reduces to 0 as n tends to infinity. But general term reduces to 0 need not imply that series is convergent. But this you can all in another way you can state this as, if limit an as n tends to infinity is not equal to 0, that will imply summation an diverges. So in this way you can rewrite the same statement. This, see, summation an convergence means limit an as n tends to infinity should be 0, but if limit an as n tends to infinity is non-zero, then series cannot be a convergent one, so it must be a divergent series. So this one helps a lot in solving problems on convergent or divergent. So to illustrate this converse, we shall have these examples. Nature of that series will be discussed later. Summation 1 by n and summation 1 by n square. In this example, an is 1 by n, and in this one an is 1 by n square. In both the case, limit an as n tends to infinity will be 0. It is true in both the cases. Limit 1 by n square as n tends to infinity is also 0. Limit 1 by n as n tends to infinity is also 0. But this series is convergent and this series is divergent. So the converse need not be true. So next, we have discussed already the series of positive terms. That is the second note I will discuss here. An infinite series of positive terms, is either convergent or divergent. An infinite series of positive terms is either a convergent one or a divergent one. Okay. So the thing is, if all the terms are positive in any infinite series, then that will either converge or diverge. So there is no word of oscillations in case of infinite series of positive terms. So all oscillatory series annadu barodilla. So oscillatory series annadu yavaga barutte if the sum of terms of that series are negative. Now let us discuss the convergence of some series. Examples again. We will discuss only 2 examples here. So first one, summation x power n. Solution. Let an equal to x power n, then summation x power n, summation an, which is equal to summation x power n, will be having 1 plus having this form plus and so on. It will be either equal to x power n minus 1 divided by x minus 1 if x greater than 1, mod x greater than 1, and it will be 1 minus x power n divided by 1 minus x if mod x less than 1. If mod x equal to 1, then we will be having different case. So the sum will be this, depending on mod x is greater than 1 or equal to 1. Solution, case 1. Case 1, if mod x greater than 1, then obviously x power n tends to infinity as n tends to infinity. Thus the summation an will be equal to infinity. So the series divergent. So the series diverges. So when mod x is greater than 1, the series summation x power n is divergent. Case 2, if mod x less than 1, then x power n tends to 0 as n tends to infinity. X power n tends to 0 as n tends to infinity. Then summation an will be, see this term will be 0, right? So will be left with 1 by 1 minus x, not x square. 1 by 1 minus x, which is definitely a finite number because mod x is strictly less than 1. So mod x cannot be equal to 1 or x does not equal to 1. So we get a finite number. Thus summation an is finite. So the series converges. So the series converges. So obviously there is one more case, that is if x equal to 1. Case 3, if x equal to 1, then summation an. So munche examples nodidve, adರಲ್ಲಿ an equal to 1 ಅಂತ sequence ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೆ. Same thing will happen, 1 plus 1 plus 1 infinitely many times. So it will be infinity. Hence the series diverges. So the series x power n converges if mod x less than 1 only. For other cases, mod x greater than or equal to 1, the series is divergent. Example B, 1 by n into n plus 1. Okay, it is series 1 by n into n plus 1. Solution. So here an is 1 by n into n plus 1. Now in this form simplification will be difficult. So by using partial fraction, this can be written as 1 by n minus 1 by n plus 1. So a1 will be, I'll write here, a1 will be, s1 equal to a1 will be, okay, s1 bada, a1 ashte barena. A1 is 1 minus 1 by 2. A2 will be 1 by 2 minus 1 by 3. A3 will be 1 by 3 minus 1 by 4. If you continue in this way, an will be 1 by n minus 1 by n plus 1. See, Sn will be the sum of all these n terms, right? If you add all these terms, see, let us see what happens. Okay, I'll write Sn separately. Sn will be a1, that is 1 minus 1 by 2, plus a2, that is 1 by 2 minus 1 by 3, plus a4 plus 1 by 3 minus 1 by 4, plus and so on. The last term will be 1 by n minus 1 by n plus 1. So these two get cancelled, these two get cancelled, these two get cancelled, and this cancels with the next term, and this cancels with the previous term. So Sn will be 1 minus 1 by n plus 1. Sn will be finally 1 minus 1 by n plus 1. Now limit Sn as n tends to infinity will be equal to limit 1 minus 1 by n plus 1 as n tends to infinity, which will be 1, a finite number. So series converges. And summation an will be 1. Similarly, try to discuss the convergence of this series. Example C. Try to discuss this one. Summation 2n plus 1 divided by 2n plus 5. Try to check whether this series is convergent or not. And last one, D, summation n. So with this, let us wind up this class. So next class we shall discuss different techniques to determine the nature of the given series.